It's the middle of summer here at Homegrown Veg in the United Kingdom, and I've been planting potatoes. Yeah, you heard me correctly. It's the middle of summer and I've been planting potatoes. Why am I doing that? Because I'm trying to get two crops of vegetables from the same soil, in the same buckets, in the same year. Potatoes have already grown in this mix, and now I'm trying to grow a second crop. So these potatoes will need to grow through the remainder of summer, through into autumn, and possibly through into winter. Now let me show you some screen grabs from previous videos, and then we'll check these potatoes out. I've never seen potatoes grow as quickly as these before, and I think the secret is that they've been planted in a warmer month. Normally, if you're a gardener like me, you'll know you can't wait to get your early potatoes in, and generally you plant them too soon, and it's a bit too cool really, and they don't start off very fast, they don't grow very fast, and then of course they pick up as the weather warms up. But these potatoes were planted in a warm month, and so they've really taken off. We'll have a look at them in a minute. I've got them standing behind the greenhouse. I'll need to relocate the camera. But what I want to do is, I want to take you to some screen grabs from previous videos that will show you the progress that these potatoes have made in just 4 short weeks. When I show you these potatoes, bear in mind that they were only put in these buckets 4 weeks ago. Right, check out these screen grabs. So the potatoes went from this to this. Then they went to this. Then the potatoes went to this. And finally, the potatoes went to this. Right, let's go and have a look at those potatoes. These potatoes only went in these buckets about 4 weeks ago. It's unbelievable. I mean, these plants now are standing about 1 foot tall. I've tucked them in here behind the greenhouse just to keep them out of the wind, and the plan of attack is this. They'll stay out here as long as the weather's warm enough for them, and as we leave summer and move through autumn and it starts to get colder, I'll be moving tomatoes and cucumbers out of the greenhouse. That'll create some space, and once it gets too cold for these guys to be outdoors, I'll move them into my polycarbonate greenhouse, and that's where they'll grow on to maturity. And then whenever they're ready, we'll turn the buckets out. I suspect it might be in autumn. Fingers crossed we might get them as far as winter, but I've no faith in that really. I think it'll just get too cold and too dark for them. But I'd really like to get them through into autumn. I'd really like to harvest a respectable crop of quality potatoes from these 6 buckets. But only time will tell. Win or lose, when I turn these guys out, I will be posting a video. And if you're a subscriber to my channel, you'll see that delivery. How good is that? Yeah, you'll see that delivery. Win or lose, I'll put that delivery up on the channel. Catch you next time. I gave you the first look at these potatoes behind the greenhouse, 10 days ago. I think they're only about a foot tall then. These potatoes only went in these buckets about 4 weeks ago. It's unbelievable. I mean, these plants now are standing about a foot tall. And they've really taken off. But that's been eclipsed by the growth in the last 10 days. It's phenomenal. I mean, the weather's phenomenal as well. We've had a lot of sunshine, a lot of warm weather. These potatoes are loving it. I'm struggling to water the buckets because there's that much top growth. I can't see the bucket. And I daren't move them out because as soon as I do, we'll get a wind, it'll flatten them. So they've got to stay where they are for the time being. Now, how tall are these things? How much have they grown in those 10 days? Well, let's put my measuring stick in. This is it. We're going to sit it on top of the soil in the bucket. Hold on. Make sure we get it on the soil. Yeah, definitely on the soil. So we're on the soil in the bucket now. How tall do you think they are? Ha! Check this out. Whoa! Hee hee! 3 foot. They've grown 2 foot in 10 days. It's unbelievable. These are the flowers just starting to form. I think there's one down there you might be able to see. They've grown 2 foot in 10 days. That's unheard of. And I must say, they do look really healthy. They do look lush. I mean, the foliage, there isn't a mark on it. It's spotless and so green. Wow, I hope I can get these across the finish line. Now, what I will say, and in fact, it's more a question than a statement. We've got flowers on these now. Have we got potatoes in the buckets? What do you reckon? Apparently, once the flowers start to set, it's an indication that there's small potatoes in there. But I ain't turning them out. Have you ever turned any buckets out where there's been potatoes on the plant? Let's start that one again. Have you ever turned any buckets out where there's been flowers on the potato plant and found potatoes in the bucket? Have you ever done that? Sounds too early to me. I mean, it's not something I'm planning on doing. But I'm led to believe that when there's flowers on the potato plant, there's probably small potatoes in the bucket. Hey, how good is that? How good is that? Well, fingers crossed. I hope I can keep these guys going. I hope I can get that second crop out of this bucket. And I hope it's a respectable crop. And I hope there's quality. I hope the quality of the potatoes is as high as the quality of these plants that I'm looking at now. But we move into autumn in a week or so's time. Things should start to cool down, whether they will or not. Days will get shorter. But hey, we've made a good start. I'm really happy with this. I really am. We've had lots of wind and rain lately, and there's a lot more in the forecast. As you can see, I've moved the potatoes. They're in the greenhouse now. They're starting to suffer some wind damage, and that's why they're in the greenhouse. Shall we go in there and have a look at them? Yeah, come on. Okay, so we're in the middle of our first autumn month here at Homegrown Veg in the United Kingdom. As you can see, there's the potato plants. I've actually got some ties to the underside of the roof, just trying to keep this foliage upright because it is over 3 foot tall now. There was quite a bit of collateral damage when we moved these guys in. Yeah, there's quite a bit of collateral damage, but I'm fairly sure there'd have been more than that had I left them outside, given the weather forecast that we've just had for this coming weekend. We're talking lots of rain, lots of wind. These would have gone battered down. So yeah, we're in the middle of our first autumn month, and I think the goal we set ourselves was we'd try and harvest these potatoes in a winter month, which is 2.5 months away. Now bear in mind that these potatoes have flowered. In fact, there's one here, I don't know if the camera catches it, maybe not. There's one here still flowering, and so these are fairly mature plants now. So whether they'll stand for another 2.5 months before we harvest them, who knows? I don't know. But I'm hoping there's already potatoes on these plants, and I will try to leave them till we get into that first winter month, only because I've never harvested potatoes in a winter month before. I just want to give it a shot and then see what we get. Yeah, let's get these potatoes a bit closer to Christmas before we harvest them. It was a bit of a battle getting these guys in here earlier, and yeah, you saw that collateral damage, but it had to be done. So we're not in here for warmth, we're in here to try and avoid the wind. If we can avoid the wind and we get some reasonably mild weather through autumn into winter, we're in with a shout. If we get a seriously cold snap, who knows? Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've enjoyed making it. Stay with me on this journey. And to make sure you see these potatoes being harvested, so that you don't miss the harvest, so that you don't miss the reveal, make sure you subscribe and click the bell notification icon. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up would be nice. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.